Hey guys, what's up? Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be covering some things that are super important to know as we are getting into the writing of our informative writing piece. Now, I know that yesterday you guys did a rereading of the Scarlet Stocking Spy, or at least I hope you did, if you did and submitted yesterday's work. If not, you have the opportunity to do so today, and you're going to need to at least refer to Scarlet Stocking Spy to answer some of the questions I'm going to be giving you as your work for today. But for now, we're going to talk about knowledge. And at the top of the page, I have knowledge is power, and today we're going to be discussing 3 types of knowledge that you should have. And if you have these 3 types of knowledge, not 6, but 3 types of knowledge, it makes you a very well-rounded person, and a person who is seemingly very educated and knows a lot of things about the world. So our focus question is still based on perspective, and it's how did different people's perspectives affect their actions during the American Revolution, because even though today isn't a writing day necessarily, your goal is still basically going to be to write about Maddie and her actions and how her perspective led her to take those actions. And then our content framing question today is, how does TSSS, which stands for the Scarlet Stocking Spy, because everyday writing the Scarlet Stocking Spy gets a little long, so if you ever see TSSS, know that I'm referring to the Scarlet Stocking Spy as the title of the book. How does TSSS build my knowledge of perspective and the American Revolution? So again, you're seeing knowledge now even in your content framing question, so that's really showing you how important knowledge is during this lesson, okay? And again, knowledge is power. The first kind of knowledge I'm going to talk about is knowledge of the world, okay? And I left some space in here to put some like little examples that might help you guys as we go through, okay? So knowledge of the world is understanding of concrete information about specific subjects. So when you have concrete understanding, that means that you fully understand something, you get it. Like if you concretely know addition, you know how to add. You can add any amount of numbers I were to give you or somebody were to give you and come up with the sum, okay? But it's not just that. It's of subjects, so like math, adding would be a subject, events, issues, places, and happenings in the past and present times. So for me, like I tend to know a lot about history, and that's happenings in the past, because I studied history at the one and only Malloy College, and I have a degree in history. I mean, also about subjects, any subject that I teach you guys, I clearly have a good foundation and concrete understanding. So then that can be, you know, historical events, which makes sense. And actually, I can put current and historical events, because there are people out there who know a lot about coronavirus and know a lot about politics, and like Mary Kate knows a lot about taxes and the changes that are made to taxes, so she's got some knowledge of the world, okay? Issues, places, happenings, subjects, so you can have like, you can be all in on math or science, right? And you have concrete information. You know exactly what to talk about for those things, okay? Knowledge of ideas is the next one. Knowledge of ideas is a little bit, as they say here, understanding of abstract ideas. So understanding of ideas means that you can kind of form your own ideas, but that you understand ideas that people have presented and made like public knowledge. So understanding of abstract ideas, concepts, complex questions, and big ideas. So knowledge of ideas is like taking everything that you learn and everything you've learned in your research and coming up with big ideas, analyzing something to see the bigger picture. Like I asked you guys a question about theme yesterday. Theme is knowledge of ideas, right? Because it's taking everything that you've learned while reading or researching and applying it, okay? And then knowledge of skills. Understanding of specific reading, writing, speaking, and listening goals, okay? Knowledge of skills is mainly due to communication. Sorry, I paused so long. But it has to do a lot with communication, because in order to communicate, you need to read things that people are sending you or things that are published, and you need to be able to write. Because before there was text messages, emails, like that, everything was handwritten letters. Even today, you're writing a text message when you send it. And then speaking and listening, because being good listeners helps you learn, and speaking shows someone that you did learn something, okay? So those are all of your knowledges that we're going to talk about. And here are some specific examples as they relate to the Scarlet Stocking Spy. So, knowledge of the world. So basically it says that Patriots made their own tea and clothes. Patriots made their own tea and clothes so they wouldn't have to buy British goods. And they didn't want to buy British goods because they were going against the British. They were at odds with the British. They had a conflict. So they decided, instead of helping them, let's just do it ourselves. That's knowledge of the world, because they recognized that things were going on around them. Knowledge of the world number 2 is that there were spies in the American Revolution. We know that. But what we didn't talk about is there were spies on both sides. We talked about Maddie Rose being a spy for the Patriots and how her actions helped the Patriots figure out which ships were in the ocean or the harbor down in Philadelphia. But there are also spies who helped the Loyalists. Don't think there weren't people trying to snoop around the Patriot stores or Patriot meetings and stuff like that, trying to get information as well. So knowledge of ideas from Scarlet Stocking Spy. Historical fiction is a big focus on the idea, because it's basically saying that we're mixing facts with fiction. So historical fiction is written about a historical time or event. Some things are fact and some things are made up. So like we've talked about, the Revolutionary War actually happened. It happened in Philadelphia. It happened in 1777. But what's fake or fictional is that Maddie Rose has a brother named Jonathan, and that he passes away in the war. All of that stuff is the fictional aspect of it. But what the author did was brought the two together, because she is managing ideas and bringing things together. And the other idea of knowledge of ideas is your perspective can lead you to take action in a way that is different from someone else. Okay? We're spending so much time talking about Maddie Rose's actions. There's another side of it, and this goes back to the fact that there were Loyalist spies as well. Not everybody did the same things that Maddie Rose did. Not even other Patriot spies were doing the same thing that Maddie Rose did. Maddie Rose had very specific things that she was doing for very specific reasons. And other Patriots who were alive during that time were patriotic in other ways. Granted, they had a similar perspective, but they were doing different things. And again, you guys got asked a little bit yesterday about the Loyalists. I'm going to be asking you about the Loyalists again today in the race responses that you guys have to answer. Okay? Now, and the last one is knowledge of skills. So this goes back to what we were talking about, and that research can help you understand something. Okay? What you guys have been doing in terms of pulling the facts from the text, reading and answering questions yesterday, reading again and answering questions today, is you are building your knowledge of the text. So this way you guys know all the historical facts and all the true things that actually happened that you can include in your writing. You have to be careful with your sources. For this we're only using the Scarlet Stocking Spy. And if you remember something from, say, George versus George or something like that, you can feel free to throw that in there too. But for the most part, we're just using TSSS. There's been other times this year where we've researched where I've had to say to you guys, don't use Wikipedia, don't use certain sites. And I usually give you guys a list of approved sites, or I print articles for you, because you need to be careful with your sources. There's a lot of, for lack of a better term, fake news out there, and a lot of sites that say, oh, like, we're giving you good information, but it's not good information. And unless you know exactly what you're looking for, you can get tricked by that. And then the last thing is, adding research to your writing shows evidence of what you learned. And we've been talking all year in terms of short responses, extended responses, whatever it might be, how you have to add evidence. And you might be thinking, but it said research. Well, evidence and research are really the same thing. So when you're researching something, or like when I've researched papers when I was in high school, college, all that stuff, or when you guys have done your own research on the inventions that we did earlier this year, you go through and you're looking for important facts. That's exactly what we did with this text. We went through the text and we found all the important historical facts so we could use them in our writing. So like it says, adding that research and adding that evidence really shows what you've learned. And this one should not be new to any of you. We've been saying that all year. I say, show me what you know. Find me as much stuff as you can to add to your writing. All right? So again, say you guys are gonna have some questions to answer about Scarlet Stocking Spy, and you guys might be like, oh my god, we have to answer questions again. Well, here's the thing. By doing that, you are building your knowledge, and knowledge is power. And the more knowledge you have, the better essay you can write when we start writing. Probably tomorrow. So, and probably tomorrow, I mean definitely tomorrow, because you guys are getting the task, you're getting the checklist and all that stuff, and you guys are going to be doing this kind of all at once instead of in different pieces like we did last time. Okay? So again, happy reading. Make sure you're getting, all the way through Scarlet Stocking Spy and answering the questions. I will see you guys at 1:30 for our regularly scheduled Google meeting. I know we've been off with the time the past 2 days, but today, or tomorrow I should say, today, because today is Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. Wednesday, if you're watching this and it's Wednesday, be online at 1:30. Alright guys, see you then, bye.